Good morning, everyone. Got a DR brush mower here, walk behind. I had 3 of these last year, sold 2 over the winter, but I decided to keep this 30-inch 22 horse. It's actually an older model because they don't have a 22 horse anymore. They have a 20, brand new 27 that came out last year, and then 14 and a half as well in the 30-inch. Also some 26 inches, they have a 34 inch. But anyways, I just want to talk about, I rent this out. So here's some things to know about that can break and whatnot. So I just had a guy rent this for a week. He must have abused the shit out of it because I've had 2 things that I've never have done. The first thing is he's like, the blade broke, the 30-inch blade in half. And he's like, does this happen often? I can tell you one thing. I've done a lot of work with these personally for customers, and I've rented out the 3 units I used to have quite a bit too. I've never once had a blade break. So I don't know what the heck he did, because I mean, maybe it's just a bad blade, but I mean, I've hit boulders, stumps, fence posts, everything, even myself, and I've never broke a blade. Now, some pulleys on the insides, those sometimes break. I've had this spindle will take off. Oh, the belt even came off here. But I've had this spindle where this main pulley goes onto. I've had the bearings in there break. I've had this weld on this big pulley break on different models. The belts obviously break once in a while, especially if something gets caught in here. But the other, I mean, that's pretty much it. On all the DR things I learned, let's say you run out of gas, or this dies on you because, you know, you hit a tree or something and it just kills. If you leave this key on the run position, it will drain the battery really fast. So I typically keep it unattached when I'm not using it, just to help, because once these little guys drain, they're only 50, 60 bucks, but they're dead. You can't recharge them. I have a belt always on here, a spare one just zip tied in case the person needs it. I put on a light bar. This isn't much. It's like 20, 30, 40 bucks. So if you do need to get back in the dark, I have a nice saw. This is a Corona saw. I can't remember how much these are, 30, 40 bucks, 10-incher, folding. Sharpest thing ever. So instead of walking back for a chainsaw, gas, oil, I just keep this strapped on, and if you need to cut a bigger tree, you can at least get over it. And I don't give a shit about dulling this, so I can go literally like into the ground. It stays sharp anyways. Super light, because my best friend's dad, he built a wooden thing here to put a whole chainsaw on, which is a great idea, but for renting it out, you know, I figured this is way better. So got the little saw, got the belt, air filter, make sure it's clean. But here's another thing to watch out for. Cables did break, or do break. Like the 2 customers ago, I had a cable break. That's just general maintenance, so not a huge deal. But this guy was cutting a lot of trees because he was wearing down these handlebars. Well, how do the handlebars wear down, you say? Well, here, let's set up my phone. I'll show you. Oh, let's see. I just got to throw her down here somewhere. Let's see. I just got to set it up on something. Deal with me for a minute here. There we go. That means the guy, which is why the blade broke and everything. And I'll show you one other thing that's broke too from this guy. That means he was cutting trees, which for big tree clumps and big trees, you gotta go down like this to bend it over. Because these rubbers are broke, it means he was down here on the fucking ground a lot. Because I've also done that myself a lot, but I've never broke off the handles. That means he was using the shit out of this. We got this dented here. It's probably from that blade breaking, to be honest. But here's one thing I got to show you. I've had it on one of my other brush mowers, but this one, the frame, this was starting to crack. Well, he completely cracked it now. Down here and here. This side was not cracked at all, so he completely cracked this too, just using the fuck out of it, which is, it's fine, but it just means he was really hard on the machine. I didn't charge him for the blade. It is literally $50 to $80, depending if you get the heavy duty one or not. And that's not even talking tax or shipping. I should have charged him for it purely because I didn't, well, I was just being too nice. I do that sometimes too often. But he did break it at the end of the day, so I should have. So I'm going to have to re-weld this. So on a different style brush mower, I had it crack here. And that's a 26-inch Premier that I had it break on. Well, what I did for that was I got a little plate of like 3/16-inch metal. I put it on the crack, and I welded the whole plate right to it. This I won't be able to. I'm going to have to actually just weld the crack, but it's fine. Some of the models, I've had these supports break before. This one, it's different because the other supports, they came like this, and they broke just from stress. But that's something to watch if you're buying these new. Look for these cracks. Look for dings and stuff. I mean, watch all your pulleys. You can even see this pulley's loose, meaning like it's literally just loose in there on this nut. So I might, I'll dick around with that and see a little bit too. This belt's frayed. I don't like that. I'll probably take it off and put a new one on. I don't know how it popped off. It probably all broke when the blade broke, but we'll get her done. I know a lot about these machines. Well, I even see this fucking light bar's crooked. So I don't know what the hell he did. See, these brackets are crooked. So anyways, if you guys have questions on these, I have a lot of man hours behind these, like physically using them, like 3 or 4 different models, as well as fixing them. So if you have fixing questions, dude, I can probably answer anything. Like, for example, these axle seals on this one were completely leaking. So last year, I completely dropped this transmission and completely split it in half and took it apart just to put one fucking new axle seal on because I didn't want it to break. That was a pain because there's nothing online. So I luckily am relatively mechanically inclined, so I figured it out, but had to do that kind of just guessing. And being in transmission, you know, I didn't know, so I was guessing with that. But anyways, I had some toe behind ones last year. Those are okay. Worst thing to rent because if one wire breaks, one fuse breaks, battery dies, blah, blah, blah. The thing is out of commission because it's electric only, which that's why I wish all these were electric and pull start. So anyways, if you guys have questions, I've done a lot of work with these, maintaining them, fixing them, and physically using them. So heck yeah, overall, love the DR walk behind brush mowers. Toe behind ones, God, I've just had a lot of shit break on them. That's why I sold them last year on and off. It's just a pain in my butt for renting, at least. For personal use, it'd be fine, but renting, not ideal.